Yeah, he's right. I'm a student studying in Vienna. I'm in my second year. Prepare a paper for this conference. I'm Roland's daughter, and this has some good sides, some bad sides. And one of the good sides is that I could get the chance to do an internship, well, more than one, but one internship in Kampala and one in Manila. And I did my first internship in Kampala in 2009. I was 19 years old, there for 3 months, and that's me. And one in Manila here in 2010. I was still 19 years old. Let me explain, where's Kampala, where's Tondo? Kampala is in Africa. It's the capital of Uganda. Uganda is in East Africa, and Kampala is it's growing. It's already reached Lake Victoria, which is the third biggest lake in the world, freshwater lake, and it's also the source, the water source of Kampala. Kampala has about, including the metropolitan area, it has a population about 2.5 million. On an area about, the area is about 190 square kilometers. The company operating is National Water and Sewage Corporation. So, where's Tondo? Well, Tondo is in the Philippines. It is in Metro Manila. To be more specific, it is in Manila, the city Manila. Because Metro Manila consists of 16 cities. One is Manila itself. And Manila has districts, and one district is Tondo. So it has a population of about 600,000 inhabitants, and the area is about 9 square kilometers, which is pretty small. And Manila is the company operating there. Why did I choose these two cities? Well, Kampala was easy, because I worked there. But why Tondo? In the whole area of Manila. But I decided to choose Tondo because I spent quite a lot of time there. And first of all, I really liked it. And it's a very interesting part of Manila because, see, that is Kampala. It's a lot of open green spaces. And this is Tondo. It's pretty densely populated. To make you understand how populated it is. See, I have a couple of population density figures here. Vienna, because, well, I come from Vienna. And Tokyo, Lagos, Mumbai, those are all big cities. And the population density is pretty high. Looking at Metro Manila, it has the highest population density in the world. Now, if we look at Kampala, it's about 7,000. It's already quite a big number. But Tondo, 10 times bigger. It has the highest population density in the world. And it's a really small area, and it's very poor. And so that's why I decided to choose Tondo, because it's just a very interesting city itself. All right, so that's enough about introduction. Let's talk about connection density. Tondo, the length of the mains of Tondo stayed more or less the same. It's a little smaller now because, well, they've been working on the network and they redesigned it. But so to make sure you understand, it didn't grow. Kampala is still growing. It has a lot of space, so it can extend the network. Of course, explains why the number of service connection in Kampala is growing as well. But why is it growing in Tondo? It's because they reactivated accounts, they legalized illegal connections, and sometimes they even, there were some families had just one connection, so they divided this into several. But it's mainly reactivation of all the accounts. And the connection density in Tondo is extremely high, 231 connections per kilometer. That's every 8 meters, there's one connection. That's, well, if you think about it, every 8 meters. If you compare that to the population density, you can get an idea of how Tondo is like. And if you have some time, I would suggest go to Tondo. It's not far from here. and it's a very interesting place. But make sure you don't go at night. Wasn't so much fun at night there. So, talking about NRW, everybody's talking about NRW, so I want to talk about NRW as well. Looking at the volume of NRW, you can see in Kampala it has been more or less the same. It has increased a little bit. But Tondo, what happened in Tondo? It's pretty high. It's a very small area, and it has it has a very high NRW. In 2011, suddenly it dropped. So you may think, okay, they didn't do anything, and then suddenly they started working. Well, yes, but it wasn't that sudden. As I will continue, you will get an idea of what had happened there. I will make sure you get an idea of that. All right, service connection repairs per year. Well, all the yellow is all Kampala, and the numbers are very high because in Kampala, in the past, people had to install their own service connections. So they used all kind of pipes, but definitely not the right material. Most of the roads in Kampala are unpaved. They were too lazy to dig deep enough, so it was maybe 10, 20 centimeters under the surface, and then you have a heavy car and there's a leak. So the numbers are constantly increasing. In Tondo, they're decreasing. The numbers are not, you cannot really compare them to Kampala because they're so high. Let's continue to DMA establishment. The trend you see in Tondo is the same, not just for DMA establishment, but for some other things as well. You see, they've done a lot of work in 2007, and then it decreased. They have signed, they've started working with MIA, and they have started to actually plan DMAs, do a lot of zoning, and so they stopped just establishing everything they find. So they started planning DMAs, and in 2011 they were done with planning and they started establishing again. So that's why it goes up again. And so at Kampala there are 7 DMAs, only 7. And I wondered why only 7? What happened? Why did they stop? So those 7 DMAs are, they were easy to establish, almost naturally built DMAs, and they didn't need much money to establish them. They did that as well for training purposes. Make sure people understand why they need DMAs. They established just a few to train people. Now you can see it's the same trend at the number of service connection replaced per year in Tondo. It started a year later, but it's the same trend. It went down, and in 2011 it went up again. The shocking thing is that in Kampala, even though the repairs per year are so high, the replacement per year is so low because there's no money. So even though they know they have a problem, they cannot really fix it because the budget is too little. Okay, let's talk about pressure management. I guess everybody has learned a lot about pressure management the last couple of days. At least I have. Let me give you an idea how the area of Kampala looks like. It's very hilly. So originally it was built in 7 hills, but the city has grown, so a couple of hills. And all the rich guys who live on the hills, of course, nice view. They have to push the water up to the uphill, that everybody on the hill has water. But that causes, of course, very, very high pressure in the valleys. There's not much of pressure management in Kampala. There was no zoning, no DMAs, and no PRVs. So it gives a really, really high pressure in the valleys and still low pressure on the hills. It's a missed opportunity. And there's a lot of work to do with the pressure management side. What happened in Tondo? In Tondo, there are 75 PRVs installed. They protect the still fragile system from increasing pressure. Why did I put the point much remains to be improved? Because the original plan was to install a PRV in every single DMA. And there are 105 DMAs and 75 PRVs. So, I suck in maths, but it's not that much yet. And plus there are PAVs, but sometimes they're 2 PRVs and 1 DMA, or they're mainly on the trunk mains. So not every DMA, not even 75 DMAs have a PRV yet. The OPEX in Tondo and Kampala, it looks good. I mean, before 2007, there were no, I couldn't find any records, so I don't know how much money they had in Tondo. But now they have 500,000, and in Kampala they have about 1 million, so it's good. Look at the capex. In Tondo they have now 8.6 million per year, 2011, and in Kampala only 1. And this is a problem. If you don't have money, you cannot fix things, you cannot change anything. So especially if you look at the total budget, in Tondo, even Tondo is only 1/3 of the size of Kampala. They have 3 times the money. 10 million is just not enough for such a big system like Kampala. Okay, supply time. In Kampala, they have 21 hours per day, constantly, and in Tondo, that's very interesting. They raised from 17 hours up to 24 hours, 4 years. I mean, that's such a big step. But the average pressure was pretty low in Tondo, and they doubled it. They doubled the pressure. Well, they had to because of the concession agreement, but it's still impressive to do this in only 5 years. In Kampala, on the other hand, the pressure is dropping. The pressure is dropping because more leakage, bigger network, higher head losses. Okay, now we start looking at the indicators. Percentages of system input volume. So if you look at this, you may think nothing had been done, but it's because percentage of system input is a really bad indicator. And plus well, it was basically eaten up by improvement of the level of service. So you cannot see anything. You cannot see that they've done a great job. If you're looking at NRW, liters per connection per day, I'm assuming everybody knows what WSP means. If not, it means when the system is pressurized, just to make sure. You can see now that the level of NRW is constantly going down. So this indicator includes the pressure. And well, in Kampala, it has stayed more or less the same. It's not as high as in Tondo, so it's good. But the trend in Tondo continues. It might even overtake Kampala. And now we go to my favorite indicator. It's ILI, Infrastructure Leakage Index. And this is incredibly high in Tondo, still is. And I'm pretty proud to say that 700, more than 700 is the highest number ever published. The last one was 250 in Tajikistan, which was published by my father. So, you know, I'm better than him now. if you're looking at Kampala, 14 ILI, well, that's for a developing country, it's not bad. But if you consider that Australia has an ILI of 1.5, that means Kampala could still reduce it by 90%. So there's a lot of opportunities to reduce that as well. The burst frequencies. The main burst frequencies in Kampala, 0.4, it's 2.5, the UK average. In Tondo, it's 0.6, 3.7 times UK average. Okay, but the service connection burst frequency in Kampala is 134. That's a pretty high number. As I said, the service connections are a big problem because of the history, because they were installed by the customer themselves. And in Tondo, it's also high, but 134 in Kampala, it's really high. So the service connections are a main problem. If you're looking at the pipe replacement, in Tondo, already 58% have been replaced. So the system is pretty new already. And in Kampala, an average pipe would be 200 years old. I don't know about you, but I'm not planning to get that old to replace that pipe. 0.5% of pipe replacement is a very small number. Because I mean, if you consider the average age of a pipe of 200 years, that's too old. Kampala's distribution network is in a much better condition than Tondo's. To make that clear, I don't know if you got that, but yeah, it's better. But Tondo makes steady progress. They're aware of their problems and they're working on it. And Tondo's ILI reduction from 700 to 200 tells the success story. But an ILI of 100, not 200, is very high still. So there's still a very, very long way to go. And Kampala needs a comprehensive NRW management strategy, including DMAs, pressure management, leakage control, service connection replacement, especially service connection replacement, and a much, much, much higher higher capex. They need more money, definitely. So, well, that was it. If you have any questions, specifically for the cities themselves, there's my co-author Emma is not here, but his boss, Mr. Mutikanga, he was presenting yesterday. He's here, so if you have any questions about Kampala, he's the right person to ask. And I just see Mani over there at the back, so if you have any specific questions about Tondo, he knows absolutely everything. So please ask him. Otherwise, well, ask me or send me an email or something.
Thank you, Marion. You did very well for your first international conference presentation.